I chose the, I envisioned myself working in the band office, and eventually I found myself as an executive assistant here in our administration office.
It doesn't sound like, you were driven with sort of leadership goals. Were you always captain of the basketball team, or were you?
No.
And yet here you are, chief counselor in Canada. You member of other boards, doing really interesting things in economic development space with Indigenous participation and ownership. And so that's a bit of an inspiration, I would think, to a lot of people who might not see themselves as born leaders, but who become and develop into leaders like yourself.
Yeah, it is. It's been an interesting journey for sure. I remember when I was first elected as a council member, and I had already established these relationships with some of our external advisors that we had with the nation. And I remember two of them reaching out to me to say congratulations, and I had mentioned that I was going to be chief counselor one day, and I had some very colorful choice of words for them, and thought, yeah, I'd never be that brave to take on that role, because I'd seen what our two previous chief counselors had to endure, not only externally, but more importantly internally within our community, and never would have thought or had taken on such a role. And we're very fortunate to have the community behind us when it comes to the success that our nation has seen this far in terms of participating within the economy, and a large part of that is their blessing to be able to pursue these economic opportunities. And without their support, our community would not be where we're at today. So, I absolutely am fortunate to be in this position during this time, but I definitely give credit to our members that allowed this success to happen.
Well, there might be a book on leadership lessons then coming from Chief and you and others about how Indigenous leaders rise up to the challenges and where they come from in the community, because I think it's a long-standing debate, how are leaders made. And I think the other thing that you talked about when you're growing up, and there was some research, actually, it was just in the Times, the London Times, earlier in the week, and it talked that the greatest determinant of success of a community is, do people feel that there's opportunities when they're growing up? And that's just what you were talking about. When you were growing up, you didn't feel that there were, you hoped to be the receptionist, right? That was the aspiration at the time. And you're now giving your daughters and grandchildren and all the other members of the community, and along with your council and community as a whole, this whole way of looking at the world in front of them, which will allow them to stand on your shoulders and achieve even greater success. So that's great story to share. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Chief Crystal.